Well, thank you. We are very enthusiastic to be with you on stage today. It is a very insightful, exciting discussion we'll have on how to scale AI and foster adoption in the particularly large corporations. My first question will be for you, Alix. Accor is a big company. You operate in more than 100 countries globally, so we can easily imagine how it is a challenge to foster, scale, launch initiative. My first question will be, can you first give us a few examples of what are your AI priorities in the group and how you work to support your team, foster adoption and use case deployment?
Sure. So first of all, thanks for having us. Happy to be here with you. So to answer the first part of your question, at Accor, we have a couple of strategic directions we've taken for AI. So to name them, the first one is we're heavily focusing on improving the customer experience through AI. So typically using AI in our contact centers, in our website to do more personalization at scale, in our CRM and so on. Second area of focus is the marketing and the CRM, and that's where Gen AI is actually bringing a lot more value on how we scale our content production. Should it be again for our sites, our emails, and all the communication with our customers, but also ensuring we push the right marketing and the right messages to our right customers. The third one is really around decision making, and so using AI to manipulate data at scale, to do forecasting, should it be for pricing purposes, for forecasting of workforce, and that kind of use cases. And then the two last areas, internal productivity, so using AI to reduce manual tasks, should it be for the hotel as well as for our teams. And the last one, which is actually I don't hear very often companies talking about it, is ESG. So using AI to reduce our carbon footprint, to reduce food waste, and that kind of topics. And so to answer the second part of your question on how we organize, so at Accor we believe that the innovation should come mostly from the business, because this will drive more value, more adoption, and we know that when it comes to AI, this is one of the key challenges, is how we drive the adoption. And so we've taken an approach where we have a center of excellence, which is a pool of experts whose role is really to put the frame in place, to guide the organization in finding the use cases, in finding the right technology, in building the use cases, scaling them, respecting all the data privacy aspect. But they're not here to do every single thing when it comes to AI. They're really here to animate the entire company, to ensure they can help us and that we have many use cases scaling across the organization.
Very good, thank you. Gilles, at Whirlpool, I understood that you are more and more adding AI in the product you sell to your clients. Could you first maybe explain first a few examples of what are the strategy on AI on your products and how you foster innovation in AI in your product with your teams?
So I'm not an IT or AI specialist. I've been leading a business. But I want to start by saying I believe that as business leaders, we have the responsibility, and I will say the ownership of adopting AI in the organization. This is how and what our business is going to look like, and we cannot delegate even to great CIOs. We need to have great partnership, but the ownership at the end of the day, business leaders have responsibility. So at Whirlpool, I would say we have been using data and technology in our products, in our services, in our operation for a long time. And for those who, like me, are French, and I'm sorry, maybe my generation, we started with something that was called equivalent to a Minitel. The Whirlpool brand has been exploiting the concept of sixth sense for almost 20 years, making intelligent appliances. We believe that indeed from a long time in our products, data and technology are important. This has evolved a lot. And from the home appliance industry, in products, there are a lot of developments with assisted cooking, with management of what you have in your refrigerator, with diagnosis of the product remotely and this kind of thing. So yes, AI is in our product. However, it's not only in the product, and it is also in the service, in the operation. And I believe leadership has a responsibility to also help the strategic alignment, where AI will help to reshape the business, make a difference versus competition, and also has a governance role. One of the challenges I face is that on data foundation, there were functional silos between finished goods sales, after sales, lot of data, consumers, but they were not. And I think, despite all the effort of IT leadership, this needed the leadership to lean in and force somehow robust data foundation and, of course, governance of data security. But what we have heard, what I believe beyond the leadership, and if we want really to foster rapid adoption of AI, I believe very much on bottom-up. I don't know if we need always intervention of center of excellence, but my experience, especially in consumer service, has been that what I call bottom-up is that IT, together with business, partner on some concrete cases. So, for example, on predictive AI, we have used this to optimize the spare part availability for our engineers. We're also leveraging more with our call center. There's been, by the business and with IT, and I must also admit with horizontal collaboration externally, some use cases that could be unlocked very rapidly, like with the support of Salesforce as well. So that bottom-up innovation allows to think. First, I'm not competent, and most of business leaders are not competent from a technical point of view. We do a lot of efforts to listen to such events, to also embed the person in the things, but they are more competent, more savvy people in our organization, and we ought to give them the chance. They are more agile. Secondly, in big corporation, if we want to move fast and be agile, and that has been experienced also in general innovation in my past FMCG life, you need to empower people. And you need to have teams that are in the business but can move things by their own without too much governance. So I really believe in bottom-up innovation to accelerate adoption of AI, to also learn fast and fail fast, like on normal innovation, I would say. Of course, the risk, there will be some gadgets. Some people will pursue their own hobbies, and I've seen this mainly in a manufacturing environment where people wanted their own solution for their own factories to feed the assembly lines. But I think this is a risk this is worth taking. When this is only a gadget that is not, it's rapidly detected, I would say, the business judged rapidly by itself. But I believe leadership has a responsibility in adopting AI, in creating space for this bottom-up AI innovation.
Definitely, bottom-up approach, we'll come back to that, is definitely a key. Biljana, at ENGIE, definitely ENGIE is a strong industrial industry with a technical operation, with many teams on the field. To foster adoption, you definitely have to integrate the potential risk, operational risk of AI on the field. Can you tell us a bit how first you assess the risk and manage deployment of technology and AI to ensure adoption by technical teams at ENGIE?
Thanks for the question. So, first of all, I think we live in super exciting times. I think this year is going to be one of the defining years with regards to AI becoming natural. So already now we have some models that you can talk to, they speak back to you in real time, they can assess your environment, they can have a real conversation with you. I thought this will come in the future, it's here now. So we're really witnessing an enormous change. And now from a corporate perspective, this can make so much difference to so many things we do, but it's not just about technology, it's really about changing all the workflows, changing how we run our businesses, because the technology can actually give us the right now to do that. Now, ENGIE is an energy company, so it's quite, we are representing quite different industries here, and it's really interesting to see we have quite a lot in common. I think probably every corporate is going to be doing something around the employee productivity, they will be doing something around the customer centricity and the call agents, getting them augmented. These are the things that we do in ENGIE, of course, as well. But we have, as you mentioned, Alexandre, we have many people working on the field. We have a very large field workforce, and we want to as well augment them. Now, we are running into some specific situations when we start working on the technical field workforce, because there are very different types of risks. So there are some risks when we talk about just general office employee productivity, but the risks are maybe related to biases, etc. But the risks in the field are actual safety risks. So we have the people safety risks, we have process safety risks to take into account. We all know that Gen AI is not yet there when it comes to its accuracy, reliability 100%. So if you want to apply it in the field where you have safety risks, you need to make sure that you have tested the solutions so much that you will be 100% sure that maybe some of the very important critical steps are not going to bypass. So energy industry is very highly regulated. Our people need to follow very specific procedures. For the right and for the good reasons, we need to make sure that when we are introducing AI, Gen AI, into the field, that we are 100% certain that we are not going to increase any of the risks that we are facing. So I'll give you an example. We have, for instance, people who go into the field to repair boilers, or people who go into people's homes to make critical repairs. Now, if you go to a field, it takes you about 10 minutes to find information about specific repair that you need to do, because you need to find the right documentation, in that documentation to find the right page, to see all the right instructions. With Gen AI, we managed to make that in a matter of literally a second, and you get a nice video of what you should do. Now we're doing a lot of work in that solution to make sure that it's properly tested for all different use cases before we are able to scale it. But once we scale it, it's going to be a huge time saving. And as well, it is going to help to increase the safety, because at the moment, we cannot guarantee what people are checking before they go, but with this, we will be able to. So on one hand, we need to spend a lot more time in advance before we scale, but once we scale, actually, Gen AI can also help us to save lives in the field, because we can learn in the moment before you go to do the work. You can learn from a huge body of knowledge of all previous incidents, to take into account next to the normal things you would do that our safety procedures would tell you. Gen AI can help you to say, in a similar situation, so many years ago, in that country, there was that incident, so pay attention to this one additional thing. That's my dream, where Gen AI can really help us to save lives in the field. We're not there yet, but I'm sure we're getting there pretty quickly, because the technology is just evolving at a crazy speed.
Thank you. When we had discussion, to prepare the discussion today, one topic was raised by all of you. It is how to empower, but to empower you need teams. So big challenge you all face is how first to recruit the best talent to develop AI, and then how to retain them in the company in the long run to make the AI development in the long term. Alix, maybe can you say a word on how at Accor you address this challenge of recruiting talents?
Yeah, I think it's one of the biggest challenges that we have, because today we pretty much all looking for unicorns. If you think, for instance, of marketing, today we don't look for traditional marketers. We looked at people who are really good marketers, but also super analytical, able to manipulate data, to understand the digital ecosystem, etc. So one angle is, of course, to do your best to attract these unicorns, and they do exist, but as any unicorns are rare. The other strategy, which is the one that we've taken at Accor, is really more than ever to break the silos between the different functions. So to make it a bit more explicit, the way we are organized at Accor is obviously people report to experts. So engineers report to an engineer head, data scientists to a data science head, etc. But yet, on a day-to-day basis, they don't work along their reporting line. They are really pulled together in cross-functional teams. We call them tribe at Accor. So in this team, you have all the expertise. They have the same goals. So the goals are the same for the engineer, for the business person on the team, for the designer, and so on. Most of the time, by the way, these goals are business goals. So they have the same goals, they have the same rituals, and this is really their day-to-day team. And because they share the same goals, they have a strong incentive to pollinize their different expertise, to share them, and to grow the overall expertise of the team. So that's the approach we've taken at Accor, so really this matricial organization with common goals to deliver.
And on your side at Whirlpool, I guess you have similar challenges?
Yes, well, the talent agenda, as Alix said, is the most critical one. but I see it on the broad sense that you have internally the build and buy responsibility, and you have also the partner, the talents. You don't need to have them all in-house. And here you have a bit of a two opposite situation. You have the partner side, and that's very difficult because you have now thousand of people who knocked at the door and have for you an AI solution that is relevant. So you are not missing external partners, and you need to choose the right one. And you need to also experiment and find, and that's the first challenge I see with external partnering. Because honestly, on AI, we cannot put everything in-house. It's clear that we need to partner, but who is your right partner and how you define this, and what is your portfolio of partners? That's the first thing. And on the opposite side, where the scarcity and unicorn is for your internalized talent. And that's true when you have a very young talent, tech and this, a home appliance company, big company might not be your initial dream. So we have a responsibility first to build, develop our own talent, equip them with and train them and invest, because they have the culture of the company. They know that we need to dial up our investment in supporting marketers and so on. Then in buying, yes, we still attract people because we are maybe offer more job security and visibility than some startups or the companies. We have a purpose of improving life at home that is exciting and connecting people, but it's not enough. We need to retain the people. And I do believe the opportunity, in the past, business leaders had as business partners a CFO. Then, over the last 10, 15 years, has been the HR. I do believe the IT, technology, AI capable people become really essential business partner for business leaders, and that's open different way for the career development, and that's the way to develop. And beyond business partnering, I think our companies can offer also a perspective of business leadership. We have now in our organization people who are in these cross-functional teams. This link from the functional were business partners. Today they lead a business unit. This is something that they cannot have in some other companies that are mentioned around us. So that's the way for me. I do believe people who are those talents who want to be true business partners have the opportunity in our companies, and certainly they, over time, I do believe, as CFO, as sometimes have become CEOs, I do believe those people will become also business leaders, including in our types of companies.
Very clear. So definitely, once you have recruited, retained your talents, you launch AI, but we know that success of AI is not always at day one. You start, you adapt, you iterate. Sometimes you fail, you restart. But definitely, it's a challenge to keep the teams embarked and aligned. Biljana at ENGIE, can you say a word on how you secure long-term effort, adaptation, and motivation and AI impact in the long term?
Sure. So I would make maybe a segmentation between two groups of people in a corporate. So one are business leaders. So we have Gilles representing one. I think it's super important that business leaders actually lead the change, lead the transformation that is coming from technology, that is coming from Gen AI. And this is another part of the adoption that we need to secure and think in parallel with the rest. So in some companies that comes naturally, in the other companies, if it doesn't come naturally, that is one of the key pillars that needs to be built so that business leaders are comfortable with AI. They understand what it means. They don't need to learn to code, but they need to understand that they are there to set the ambition, that they are there to set the big bets, and to understand as well what Gen AI is and what it is not. That is not panacea. It's not cure to all illnesses that we have. But if you put it together with other technologies, we can solve problems that we have in very different ways and sometimes a lot faster. So I think that is one side. Now, let's say the general public, all the employees, as you mentioned, Gilles, I think it's super important to get all employees actually to put their hands on it, to understand what it is, to demystify it, to get them to start using it, because they're going to be the ones coming up with the best ideas of how can we apply this to first maybe improve our workflows and then to change our workflows. But they need to first start using it. So within ENGIE, we have very early on decided not to block usage of Gen AI, because last year that was a big topic among corporates. How do I secure it? So we decided to jump on a ship of providing a secure generative AI shape to our employees so that they can start testing it. So that's basically at the hands of all of our employees. We're also now enabling them with Microsoft 365 Copilot, so that not everybody gets that, because it still has a hefty price tag. But the people who are very enthusiastic about it, who are very motivated, basically make a case to why they should be the ones to get it. And with that, we are starting to open the doors little by little. We have close to 2,000 people already who are extremely then happy to receive it, because they feel there's a bit of exclusivity in the air related to it, which makes it nicer for them to use it. And we do traditional things like trainings. So with Gen AI, I think what is easier than with traditional technologies, you don't need to train people on this is the button you need to click, and after that, that button. It's very easy, it's very seamless to communicate with the machine. However, you need to teach the people of how to write the right prompt. So what are the elements that the prompt should have so that you actually get an outcome that you can do something with? And as well to teach them to critically think when the outcome comes out, that you don't just take it and run with it, because it might not be correct. So we need to teach them that it's a bit of a different way you interact with these tools. So it comes with formal trainings, but also with hackathons, where that knowledge that they have applied, they can then bring together with a team of people into some great ideas of how we can disrupt ourselves, how we can change the workflows. So in summary, I think it's really a series of techniques, because people learn in different ways. So we're trying to cater to different ways that people learn, to make it exciting, to have Ask Me Anything sessions about AI, to have coffee corners where we have kind of little clinics, to have formal trainings, because it will respond very differently to different people. Some people just want the tool, and they will learn how to use it. They don't need any help. The others will be stuck until the help comes their way. So I think we try to cater for different ways that people start using it, because it's going to be very difficult to get the people outside to find those unicorns, and we need many, many unicorns. So we need to start creating those by, in my view, offering them variety of ways to just get on board and to learn.
Well, thank you very much to all of you. It was a very interesting discussion, and thank you for your intervention.
Thank you. Thank you very much.